This is ABC7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. A state senator, a sheriff, and the right to bear arms is at the center of a legal fight unfolding in Sarasota County. An appeals court is ordering Sheriff Tom Knight to return his deputies to a guard post at the clerk of court currently in the county's historic court building. This all started when State Senator Greg Steube, who has a concealed carry permit, was prevented from entering that building with his weapon. Steube argued he should be allowed to keep his firearm on him because the building is not a gun-free zone because it does not have any active courtrooms. Fearing the sheriff's office could face legal action for preventing legal gun owners access, the deputies assigned to guard the historic courthouse were pulled out.
The real issue here is not the separation of powers between the executive branch and judicial branch. The issue is how do we provide security at a certain level without violating people's constitutional rights, without violating the law. Because when I violate the law, I get sued, and that takes a lot of taxpayer money to defend a lawsuit.
Sheriff Knight tells us his legal team will be taking a look at the appeals court ruling before he makes a decision on what to do next. Well, changing your clocks could soon be a thing of the past. The Florida State Senate and House both have bills on the table to eliminate daylight saving time. Sarasota Senator Greg Steube also started this conversation. And now in just 3 months, Florida could join 3 other states not having to spring ahead or fall back ever again. Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, Jess Dowdrick looks into the benefits of eliminating daylight saving time and why changing the clocks was ever a tradition to start with.
I don't see anyone really voting against it. So as long as the chairmen of each committee that it's referred to are happy in bringing it up, I think it could actually happen.
Tonight, you'll hear more from State Senator Greg Steube about what sparked this conversation, also where the bill stands in state government. And starting on Monday, pharmacies and physicians who dispense controlled substances will have just 1 day to report information to the statewide prescription drug monitoring program. Currently, pharmacies and physicians are required to report the information as soon as possible to the state, but they are given up to 7 days to comply. During the 2018 session, the legislature is expected to pass a bill to help fight the state's opioid epidemic, with lawmakers considering whether or not to mandate that doctors use the database before prescribing controlled substances. And 2017 has been a historically low year for the number of juveniles arrested. That's according to the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. The latest report finding that statewide juvenile arrests dropped another 7% in the last year, which makes it a historic 42-year low. Florida Governor Rick Scott responding to that news today, saying he will work with the legislature during the upcoming session to pass a 10% pay raise for juvenile detention and juvenile probation officers to reward them for their hard work. The counties that saw the biggest drop in arrests include Orange, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach County. Florida Power and Light crews are on their way to Puerto Rico tonight to help restore power to areas impacted by Hurricane Maria. FPL announcing that 140 company line workers and support staff have left for the island where hundreds of thousands of customers still remain without electricity. FPL's support of power restoration in Puerto Rico began after the energy company completed its own restoration in the aftermath of Hurricane Irma here in Florida. Well, let's check in with meteorologist Steve Newman for a look at your first alert forecast. Steve, it feels like Hurricane Irma was months and months ago, but it really was just 3 months ago, I think.
It's been a really rough year for weather across the United States, as we all know, and natural disasters. So it is fairly benign, but now we've got that bitter chill, which can be deadly up north, and we'll be talking about that coming up a little later on in the newscast, as well as its eventual effects to us. It's going to get here sooner or later. We can't luck out forever. Today we did have some morning fog down in the southern part of our viewing area, interior of the state, but it is clear. There it goes. Watch it clear out during the afternoon. And there's some rain up to the north. Those showers will stay up there. It's been raining off and on through the Panhandle and the northern Gulf of Mexico over the last day or so. But our future radar shows that's not the case for us tonight. We could have some more patches of fog forming in the interior overnight and other clouds moving in from time to time, and a light northerly breeze ending our warm spell and filtering in some cooler temperatures. But this evening should be quite nice, still with temperatures in the 60s as we move through the evening hours, even by 10 o'clock, 63, 11, midnight, 62. We'll talk about our not the 4th of July, our New Year's Eve and New Year's Day forecast. You got me thinking about the summer, Jacqueline. Coming up a little bit.
Okay, thank you so much, Steve. The Punta Gorda Airport is celebrating a year of growth after ending its total passenger count for the year with more than 1 million passengers. The airport reporting 47 consecutive months in which passenger traffic was up until Hurricane Irma, when they saw a decrease in the month of September. Most of the increase, however, seems to come from the addition of new routes from Allegiant Airlines. Allegiant Air has nonstop service to 40 cities across the U.S. In the news once again today, that hard-fought Senate election in Alabama earlier this month. Republican candidate Roy Moore suffering a legal setback as he refuses to accept defeat despite what the numbers show. ABC's Gloria Riviera has more details.
Republican Roy Moore's legal battle to contest the Alabama Senate election results has taken a big hit. An Alabama Circuit Court judge throwing out Moore's election fraud complaint and claimed that irregularities could reverse the results. After an investigation, the Secretary of State of Alabama saying
it was determined that that was all made up. There was no fact to it at all. It was completely fiction.
Today, the results in favor of winner Democrat Doug Jones were made official.
The margin of victory in the election was 21,924.
The Moore team claimed 3 election integrity experts say there were irregularities in 20 precincts in Jefferson County alone that could reverse results, and alleged Moore took a polygraph test that proved his innocence against charges of sexual misconduct against minors, charges Moore had denied throughout the campaign. Moore has 2 days to file for a recount, which his campaign would have to pay for.
With Doug Jones, the balance in the Senate will be 51-49 Republicans to Democrats, and that gives Republicans on the fence about certain issues new leverage to demand more from the GOP in negotiations. Gloria Riviera, ABC News, Washington.
Nearly 5,600 previously unprocessed sexual assault kits have now been tested. That's according to new statistics released by the Attorney General's office. Prior to 2016 law, Florida had not required rape kits to be tested. Law enforcement agencies are now required to submit evidence within 30 days of the beginning of their investigations, and those sexual assault kits must be processed by the lab within 120 days. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the state is ahead of pace in reaching its goal of processing 8,600 backlogged kits by June of 2019.
Our goal is to help victims solve cases and get closure, but as well as lock up many of these monsters who are out there, are serial rapists, serial criminals, and they travel, they go throughout the country.
Information from the newly processed rape kits goes into the federal combined DNA index system known as CODIS. This database allows federal, state, and local forensic labs to exchange and compare DNA profiles across state lines. And a Florida judge is ordering R.J. Reynolds to continue paying the state millions of dollars in tobacco settlement money despite selling off major brands. R.J. Reynolds and other tobacco companies were part of a multi-billion-dollar settlement with Florida to compensate the state for treating sick smokers. But the company sold cigarette brands Kool, Winston, Salem, and Maverick to Imperial Tobacco Group in 2015, and neither company continued to make payments to the state. When Attorney General Pam Bondi filed the suit last January, she said Florida was already owed $45 million and could lose $30 million a year moving forward. And the Baltimore Orioles have called out their fans on Twitter following backlash over a tweet earlier this week wishing their fans a happy Kwanzaa. The Orioles following up today, saying a common love of the Orioles is what brings everyone together on this page. We're happy to have a diverse fan base of the best fans in the world. If you cannot show respect for others, kindly unfollow us. There is no room for hate or bigotry on social media or in our ballpark. And a Manatee High School graduate is going viral. Take a look at this video at last week's USF Bowl game. That's Brooks Larkin, who stole the show with his sideline performance. And now it's trending all over social media for Larkin's split while celebrating a touchdown. That's right, a split. As an offensive lineman who is 6'3" and 315 pounds, that is not something you see every day.
Somebody on the other sideline did a split, and the camera didn't catch that one, but the team asked me, they're like, dude, someone over there just did a split, you have to do yours now. I was like, oh, I got you. Some people were saying that it was just my sassiness that really set me apart.
Pretty impressive. Well, Larkin says for his next celebration move, he wants to try to land a backflip. Still to come on your Suncoast News, thousands rush to prepay for their property taxes. A look at what the urgency is for and what the IRS is suggesting.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Many homeowners across the country are trying to prepay their property taxes before the new tax law takes effect at January 1st. But as Dave Briggs reports, according to the IRS, their efforts may not pay off.
Here just to make a payment? Yes.
Hundreds of homeowners racing to prepay their 2018 property taxes, hoping to take advantage of a popular deduction that will be reduced when the new tax law goes into effect on January 1st.
I know we're going to get it in this year and we can write it off, but not sure about next year.
The last-minute rush coming amid confusion over one of the most controversial parts of the bill signed into law by President Trump last week, a $10,000 cap on deductions for state and local taxes that will disproportionately impact homeowners in high-tax states like New York, California, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C.
My concerns are that our new tax laws are unfairly targeting New York, and I want to avoid as much payment as possible by prepaying in advance.
But the IRS is now saying not so fast, attempting to clarify who qualifies and cautioning that prepaying property taxes could work but only under limited circumstances. To avoid the cap, homeowners must pay taxes that have been assessed this year, meaning that those who prepaid based on estimates will likely be ineligible. In Fairfax County, Virginia, officials already preparing to potentially have to issue refunds. In New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo signed an executive order last week suspending measures in state law that could have prevented some residents from prepaying.
This is an economic civil war pitting red states against blue states.
New Yorkers flooding local tax offices, leaving local tax collectors overwhelmed.
I wanted to take advantage of it now and at least not get hurt as much now, knowing going forward it will.
Seniors were on a fixed budget. Thank you, President.
Well, the IRS is expected to release additional guidance for other provisions in the new tax law. Well, let's check in with Steve Newman. And Steve, it looks like the sun is getting ready to set as we speak.
Look at that. It is right now on the horizon. If you're out on Siesta Lita longboat looking out over the Gulf, hopefully you get to maybe see the green flash, but I don't think the air is quite clear enough for that tonight. At the airport, the current temperature is 73, dew point 62. Our humidity 68%, and we have a north wind now that's bringing in drier and cooler air into the Suncoast. So that's going to end our extended period of above normal temperatures, and it's going to get cooler gradually as we move into next week and even beyond that. 69 the current temperature in Tampa, 79 at Fort Myers, and I think that stationary front is draped right across here, so there's the boundary between the two air masses, but it's a very diffuse front. It's hard to actually define exactly where it is. 71 at Longboat Key, 72 at Siesta, but inland it's as warm as 76 at Lake Placid and 78 at Punta Gorda. Now, here are the clouds to the north of us, and you really can't see the stationary front because there really isn't that much of a boundary between two air masses, but what we are seeing are a little bit drier air to the north and a north breeze that is setting in. Early morning fog we could see again tomorrow as we saw this morning, but it should burn off to a partly sunny day and a cooler day tomorrow. We also have some rain continuing up in the northern part of Florida. This is not part of a cold front or anything. It's just a disturbance that's been meandering along the Gulf Coast for the last couple of days. Now, the jet stream still bringing in cold air from the Arctic, joining with the Pacific jet stream, the main jet stream coming in across the Pacific. And there is the coddling of the cold polar air to the north. And temperatures are indeed cold. A record 31 below zero this morning in Watertown, New York. 8 degrees right now at Syracuse, 14 at Cleveland, 11 at Detroit. Further west, Chicago, 13. Some areas are actually starting to warm up today. It's 26 in Kansas City and 33 at Wichita. It was in the teens yesterday at Amarillo. Now they're up to 50, but it's 40 in Dallas. Now, as we lose our bragging rights of the warmest weather in the nation, it's going to shift out west, down around Palm Springs, the desert resorts of Arizona, and interior parts of the LA basin will be in the 70s and 80s while we chill off into the 60s and 70s. Well, here is the evolution of that stationary front we've been talking about. It's going to drift southward in high pressure with that north wind, eventually moving to the northeast as we move into Saturday. So a little bit warmer on Saturday than tomorrow. And then here comes the front for New Year's Eve, predicting it to come through at some point late on Sunday evening to maybe 3 or 4 on Monday morning. So hopefully we'll get through dry for New Year's Eve celebrations across the Suncoast, but that's a forecast we'll have to watch closely right on through the weekend. Here's the beach and boating forecast. Tomorrow, a little cooler with north winds at 10 knots, seas 2 feet, a light chop on bay and inland waters. Saltwater temperature 72. That's going to be dropping as we get a cool air mass coming over, blowing across the surface of the sea. 69 the beach temperature tomorrow, and with the clouds, UV index 3. Here's my forecast for tonight. A lot of clouds, as you can see in this future cast. Variable clouds with patches of fog. 58 the low temperature, so we're going to get out of the 60s and down in the 50s for lows. And tomorrow's forecast, more clouds, sun mix, a sun-cloud mix, and it'll be cooler, only 71, so we're going to drop several degrees for temperatures. And look what happens on Saturday, 69 for the high on Saturday. Sunday we recover a little bit as that front approaches from the north, and as it comes through right after midnight, then the rain could start in the early morning hours of New Year's Day, 30% chance. A better chance on Tuesday, drying out and cooler as we end the first week of 2018. That's your weather, Jacqueline.
All right, certainly a cold and wet way to start off the new year. Thank you, Steve. Time now to check your first alert traffic for the drive home. We are still seeing those delays heading north and southbound on I-75. That is between the Fruitville and University Parkway exits. Pending home sales rose just slightly in November as the housing market copes with a dwindling supply of properties on the market. The small increase follows a 3% increase in October. More Americans are shopping for homes as the economy has improved and unemployment remains low, but demand has done little to bring more home sellers into the market, which is causing a shortage of listings and pushing up the prices. And if you're feeling lucky, you may want to buy a lottery ticket. The Powerball jackpot has jumped to $384 million after no winners in Wednesday night's drawing. A ticket worth $2 million was sold in Georgia. The odds of winning the Powerball drawing are 1 in 292.2 million. The next Powerball drawing is Saturday night, and you can watch it right here on ABC7 on our 11 o'clock show. Well, stay with us. Entertainment news is coming up next.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these other injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-604-1698. That's 800-604-1698.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Trashed by emails sent by pageant officials, former Miss Americas will help choose the new leaders of the Miss America organization. The group is enlisting the help of former Miss Americas and state directors to recommend the next generation of leaders for the pageant. This after emails were released last week where pageant officials ridiculed the appearance, intellect, and sex lives of former Miss Americas. The ensuing uproar led to the group's executive director, president, chairman, and at least one other board member to resign. Well, U2 lead singer Bono is revealing that he had a near-death experience, but he isn't revealing much. Bono discussed it with Rolling Stone magazine in the story that published on Wednesday. He says he wanted to avoid a, quote, soap opera, but says the experience helped inspire U2's latest album, Songs of Experience, which came out on December 1st. Mark Wahlberg leads Forbes magazine's list of most overpaid actors of 2017. The Patriots Day and Deepwater Horizon star raked in $68 million in pre-tax dollars this year. Yet for every buck he earned, his movies took in just $4.40. Christian Bale came in second, followed by Channing Tatum, Denzel Washington, and Brad Pitt. Plenty of big stars will ring in 2018 in Times Square. Mariah Carey returns to Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest for a repeat performance. Ryan, Jenny McCarthy, and Sierra will co-host. The biggest star of the night is the 2018 Waterford Crystal Ball, which is also being prepped. It weighs more than 11,000 pounds, contains over 32,000 Philips LED bulbs, and is 12 feet in diameter. The New Year's celebration kicks off at 8 p.m. right here on ABC. And also don't forget that this year's New Year's Eve downtown Sarasota will be packed with people for the annual Pineapple Drop. The festivities get going at 1 o'clock at Main Street and Lemon Avenue with the Family Carnival. The live music starts at 8 p.m., but the main event will be the countdown to midnight in the Pineapple Drop that welcomes in the new year, of course, Suncoast style. It'll be emceed by ABC7's very own Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. If you can't make it to the event, you can catch the action right here on ABC7 at midnight from the comfort of your own home. Well, stay with us. We'll be right back with more news and weather after the break.